Hello.
All right. Hi.
Um, can you tell me who you are and how you fit into my family tree?
All right. Uh, my name is Julius Benford III. Uh, I am Nia Leslie Moore's father, and you being my firstborn child, that's how we fit in our family tree.
All right. And can you tell me?
All right, in Denver, Colorado, in the mid 70s, uh, to parents who were never married but were together for a very, very long time. Um, I grew up in a household with both parents until I was 10 years old. Then they separated, and uh, also in a household with an older brother who was 5 years older than me. Um, so typical family. Both my parents worked, uh, and I was very active in sports as a kid growing up. My father was the athletic director for the rec center that we grew up in our neighborhood. So did darn near every sport you could imagine, and growing up. But basketball was the one that stuck. I did that more than I did the others.
All right. Are you touched on how many? You touched on your older brother. That's the only sibling that you have.
I have a half sister as well, and I also have a step sister that I grew up with from the time I was 12 years old till now. So yeah, those are my other siblings.
Mhm.
Right. Your grandfather was born Julius Benford Jr. Um, in Lubbock, Texas in 1950. Uh, and he moved to Colorado when he was 8 years old. Yeah. And your grandma, Connie Green Mason, was born in Denver, Colorado in 1952 to my grandmother, Leslie Mae Sutton, and her father, Emmett Anderson. So yeah, they met in high school way back in the early mid 60s. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Uh, your great grandfather, Julius Benford Sr.,
Hmm.
uh, was born in. He was also born in Texas, North Texas, uh, Lubbock, Texas, to be exact, I believe. And his family kind of matriculated through Texas from North Texas all the way through to San Antonio and parts of Dallas, I believe. Um, and then as a young man, he moved to Colorado with your great grandmother. Was Annie? Her birth name was Annie Bell Floyd.
Hmm.
And then when she married your grandfather, she became Annie Bell Benford. And your grandfather he worked with his hands. He did a lot of jobs where it was like manual labor. He used to work for when he moved to Colorado, he used to work for a tire company so he changed tires in airplanes of all things.
Oh wow.
Yeah, at the airport. until he got injured. Um, Interesting story about that. He actually was changing the tire, and the jack slid from underneath the tire and went smashed his hand. So he wasn't able to work that job anymore because he was out on. It wasn't called workers' comp at that time, but they eventually let him go. So he had to find other means, and he ended up opening up his own tire shop and doing some out of body work, and I think he did maybe some under engine stuff for a little while, but that's kind of where some of my other family members got that from. Like I have an uncle that has his own mechanic shop now, and all your uncles on that side of the family have some. Even your grandfather had some means of learning how to work with his hands, doing stuff, particularly under cars and stuff.
Yeah, I remember that about Papa. Like he was always doing something. Like when he came, he painted the house, like painted the rooms, and I was for sure. Yeah. So that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, you're the same way too, because you like are a Bob the Builder type.
Yeah, I get it honestly. For sure.
For sure. Okay, can you not DC, is Denver the only place that Papa lived, or did he live anywhere else?
He at 8, like I said, at 8 he moved to Denver from Texas, but never anywhere like for a long period of time. He moved to California for a little while before I was born, and he also after him and your grandmother got divorced, he lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico for a little while. But yeah, never anywhere for a long period of time, and it always was just on the west side of the United States, never anywhere on the East Coast. Mm-hmm. Your grandfather always used to tell me this story. Before I was born, he like I said, he moved to California, and he was going to make his way out there. He left Colorado with intentions on making a living and making his way in LA. And what brought him back was an interesting situation. He said he was out and about one night, and he grabbed a newspaper, or maybe it was just went back to his apartment, and that's what it was. He was he went and was looking at the news, and he saw on the news that they were looking for someone, and they put up the sketch of the person that they were looking for, and he said that the person looked like him. Now, he was out there just working. He wasn't doing anything illegal, and it scared him because he was like, hey, listen, he's like, I didn't do anything out here. He said, but apparently somebody out here that looks like me was out here doing something enough for them to be looking for them on the news. And he said, within like a week's time, he packed his stuff up and moved back to Colorado. And then shortly after that, him and your grandmother reconnected, and she's pregnant with me, and that's the history. That's how you came about, and all our little family. So,
yeah, that's crazy.
He said it was just God was telling him that he needed to come back home, because at that time your grandmother was a new widow. Your Uncle Garrett's father just passed, and they were all friends. And so when he came back home, he had reconnected with Mom under the understanding that he needed to come back home to make sure that she was good after losing her husband. And they ended up getting together and having me. So crazy.
Wow. Never knew that story.
Nice.
Thank you. for
You're welcome.
answering my questions and helping me out with my documentary. This will be
Absolutely.
very useful.
Sure. Yeah. Well, good luck to you, baby. This was beautiful. Being able to
Thank
reminisce
you.
about your grandfather. He was a dope individual. So
Yeah.
he's missed for sure.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Pop.
My name is Connie Green Mason from Tangier. I am Nia's grandmother. Her dad is my youngest son. My mom name is Leslie Mae Sutton, who's passed, and my dad's name is Inget Anderson, who also passed. I'm the sixth sibling of 8. And we're all boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl. All the way down to the last one, which out of all of them, it's the 5th one, and myself who is still here now. I have a sister that's still alive and a brother in California and myself.
So it's 3 of y'all. 3 of y'all are still alive? Okay.
Yes.
Where are you from?
I'm from Denver.
Yeah, you lived there your whole life?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Unfortunately.
You don't like it?
Not really, but hey, I really never found any place better yet.
Yeah. Well, it makes it easy for us to come visit you.
Yes, it does. And we'll be looking for you soon.
Yes. Okay, so tell me a little bit about your childhood and what it was like growing up with all of your siblings and what your parents were like.
My mom worked sometimes even 3 jobs. She was a homeowner from the time that I could remember her. We lived in 3 places from the time that I was born up until I was an adult, and I can remember all 3 places. My siblings, like I said, we were born with the oldest being a boy and the youngest being a boy. In between that, it was the 4 girls and the 4 brothers. It was fun. I mean, you had siblings, and it's nothing like it is nowadays, where we could stay out until 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night playing in the front of the yard in the summertime and didn't have to worry about all the dumb stuff that's going on now. My mom was very participating in our life with all the jobs that she did work at the times when she only had maybe 1 or 2. She was always there with us on Sundays, up until the time that my mom passed, and one of my oldest sisters and I would try to keep the Sunday dinners going. We would have a Sunday dinner every Sunday with the 2 meats, 2 sides, and we always knew what we were going to have during the week because she made a menu out and she stuck with it. So it was fun. I'm glad I had all the siblings that I had because it was fun. I mean, you learned a lot because we were all different. I had the opportunity before my sisters did pass to have a special relationship with each one of them. Thankfully. So that was a blessing in itself. So that was good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. So when I was doing some research on Ancestry, because Mom, she has a whole ancestry tree, and I was looking through and I was trying to find, I could not find a whole lot of information on great-grandma Leslie or great-grandpa Emmett at all, like nothing. I mean, I found that great-grandpa Emmett was in World War II, but other than that, I couldn't find any information. So do you know, like, I know you told me that y'all didn't have a really good relationship, but do you remember anything about him or?
My mom is from New Orleans. She was born, and she's a foster child, so she was adopted. And my dad, I didn't have a relationship with him until I was almost 16, 17 years old. So, and what I've heard and wasn't something that I was trying to keep a track of.
You kind of let it go.
It wasn't worth me investing my time in.
Yeah.
I was born in St. Thomas, though.
He was born in St. Thomas. Okay. All right.
He was born in St. Thomas.
In St. Thomas.
He was in the service.
Grandma Leslie worked a lot of jobs. Do you remember like what job specifically?
She did. She was a cook. She worked at one of the major, like it was called Woolsworth. And yes, it was a major little restaurant, fast food place down. He worked at a couple of the. It was a soul food place on the Firepoints. It's a major little 5 Point area down in the city. She was a cook there, and then she got her RN, and she worked in hospitals, Rose Medical Hospital and Mercy Hospital.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense. Especially the cooking, because you can cook, and I can do a little something in the kitchen. So yeah, it's good to know I can trace it back.
Yes, you can. That's me in the middle. We don't want to see me.
Yes, we do. Oh, you're so cute.
My oldest brother, Thomas. And then, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's Thomas, and then that's my sister Diane, and again that's my baby brother Gary. You don't want to see that one? That's nightclubbing. That's a picture of your great grandmother and great great grandmother.
Oh wow!
And your great grandfather.
Oh wow!
My mom, 3 months pregnant, and this one is my mom.
Oh wow!
My mom, 3 months pregnant, and this one is my mom.
Oh wow!
And this is us when I was pregnant with Julius, and that's Garrett and his dad, Julius's dad.
Yeah. Oh.
And this was a picture, the last picture I got to take with my mom. That's Annette. That's Diane. That's my mom. That's me. And that's Carolyn.
There's a picture of your pawpaw all the way to the upper right, far right, with all of his siblings. To the left of him, Aunt Charlene, then Uncle Sonny, then Uncle Mike, then Uncle Ivy, and then Aunt Diane, and then Uncle Larry, and then Grandma Benford and Grandpa Benford, your great grandparents at the bottom.